This is a Headgum podcast.
You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
Those comedy clubs with the headshots, it feels like we're reaching a point where they're full. Every one of those is like, it's just full. And it's like, are we going to stop? Are we going to start looking at which ones have assault allegations, get rid of those? Or the ones that, like, there's some character ones. You really see, like, the clown.
Yes.
And he wore makeup. Or
Yeah.
I opened for Coach.
Tom Whiteley?
He wears like a
Yeah.
football.
You ever noticed? I know Tom Whiteley for many. Yeah, chickens. Yeah, I know. I love Tom Whiteley. Yeah.
I saw it as one of those where I was like, I must have been hosting Comedy Shop in New Jersey or something. It's like a hotel. They did it at hotel venues, and he just fucking crushed.
He
and I'm sure it
crushes,
was
yeah.
the same act.
Yeah.
But just crushed.
He was a weird guy. He used to go on the road, and he really was a football coach, and he would jog. He was obsessed with jogging everywhere we went. In the rain, he didn't give a fuck. He had to run. He was crazy, but very funny, man. He was one of those guys that was really nice to me early in my career.
Yeah,
and you never forget those guys who treated you well when you started.
Do you? Because how long have you been doing comedy since you were
1990? So
1990.
30. Almost 36. I guess I was 21 when I started.
How do you feel about those guys that they did their hour and that's all they did and they do it forever? And I judge them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would say to the face, fuck you, you loser.
Sure.
But I go like, aren't you bored? Aren't you going nuts up there? And then they give the best 15 minutes that you've ever seen.
Yeah.
Just flawless.
I want to hug them. Like I don't understand it. Like a lot of those guys are from the 80s too, where they came in and they hit the boom of the 80s, so they'd go out and make $2,500 a week, and then they just didn't create anymore. And then 1990, 91, and they just got stuck in the same act. A lot of those guys I feel bad for. Like, it's their own making, but to do the same 45 minutes or hour for years, it's madness.
Now, is it because they can just keep making enough money off of it to do it, or that they'd be scared to try anything new?
It's like staying in a bad relationship. You're just there and you're afraid to grow from it or to leave it.
Yeah.
That's what I think they just stop creating.
I feel the same way with I do theater mainly.
Yeah.
So, but the Broadway people that have done, like, they stay with like Lion King or Phantom of the Opera for 20 years. I don't know how. For me, that's worse than doing any 9 to 5 job.
To be creative enough to want to get into the arts, and then the second you get a security,
But then they pay off houses, and I don't know. Like,
Sure.
you know. I don't know.
That's
But
maybe
I
it's
can't,
the kids.
yeah.
Maybe we just don't have.
Even if you have kids, you still want to paint a different picture once in a while. And painting the same fucking fruit bowl every day, blow your brains out. I mean,
And you get no bits from your new kids. You're like, they said
Yeah.
something fucking crazy. I'm not going to talk about it. God forbid it's not clean. Was it? Do you feel like it's one of these things? You're such a great comedian. I can't make
thank
it. I
you.
can't
It's
make it
very
all
nice.
about comedy though. You know,
Sure.
some people I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck. Here's what I want to ask. You did so much radio.
Yep.
You do podcasting now. Is there a material difference? Sometimes I go, well, it's just radio now. Podcasting is just radio. Is there anything different about like what the heart of it is? Or to you, is podcasting and radio the same thing?
it's a good question. It's different, though. But here's why it's different. Because when you were doing radio, it was, at one point on Opie and Anthony, we were on K-Rock and Satellite, and we were doing 6 to 11 Monday through Friday. So we were doing 25 hours a week of broadcasting. Like,
Crazy.
I mean, eventually it was either 20 hours was the minimum and 25 hours. So radio, it's just so much happens.
Yeah.
And it's live. And, you know, everyone is hearing every moment of it. There were bad shows too and lousy shows, but the amount of guests we had coming through, the amount of crazy shit we had coming through. Podcasting, I do podcast. It's an hour a week or 2 hours a week.
Yeah.
Whereas that was, it just, you can't do on podcasting what you used to be able to do on satellite, and we could never have done that show today. The Opie and Anthony, we never could get away with that shit today.
Even on a podcast?
Maybe, but I mean, just the amount of mean jokes and knowing that people are listening, there's something a little bit different about it. Knowing you're kind of live, really, it felt like there was more of a risk to it than I feel like when I'm just doing a podcast and it can be edited.
Yeah. I feel like that's part of it.
And also, well, at the time, was it I mean, there were still clips and things. People could still take clips, but it felt more like you're throwing it out there, and it's not as likely to be like taken and then,
put together in a montage of.
Oh no, we got montage. Oh yeah, no, we're the first show suspended from satellite. In there was in 2008. It was when Sirius and XM were about to merge, and we had a homeless guy on. And he was really funny, like really, like one of those guys who's just raw, but he was brutal. He was doing talking about raping the Queen of England. Like he was really fucking out there.
Sure.
And we laughed. It was very funny. And then
was he doing bits, or he was just
just talking? No, just talking. Homeless Charlie, his name was. And we were on K-Rock.
Did his parents name him that?
It worked out. Yes, they had a sense. Yeah. He was a very funny. He had like a weird Pryor-esque. Just the type of guy who spoke funny. He's just a funny dude.
Yeah.
He's a guy who talks, and you're like, God, I enjoy listening to this dude. But anyway, Breitbart picked up the segment, and they thought it was going to hurt the merger, so they wanted to fire us. So we got suspended from satellite, but we held on to our careers because of regular radio kept us on for that month that we were suspended. So even back then, even in 2008, you could get ruined. That's not a new thing.
When it happened, were you like, fuck? Did you go? We shouldn't have done that. Did you go? Like, what was their argument, that you were exploiting the homeless person?
Oh no! No one covered that.
It was about what he said.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, they said he did jokes about raping the Queen of England and Laura Bush, but he was just talking, and we were just, and they were mad because we were laughing, and it was just so stupid. It was. Here's what it was: people in regular radio trying to stop the merger, so they were trying to make it look like this is the type of stuff you hear on satellite radio. But we wound up skating eventually.
I will always think about Billy Bush. Speaking of another Bush, that Billy Bush was there. Speaking of laughing,
that's right.
He was just there in the bus with Trump, and just went. Any kind of laugh, just a polite, and
what do you got?
He gets fired.
Yep.
And the guy who said it becomes president a month later. And then he, his next video 3 months later, he was very Christian now.
Oh, Billy,
going to church. And I'm like, if that happened to me, I wouldn't believe in God less than in that moment.
It's really hard, and there's no way to just come out and call, because everybody pretending to be mad is full of shit. There's no way. Sometimes you want to come out and just go, what are you guys doing? Like, what are you in a play? This is not real.
Yeah.
You're not mad about this. Shut the fuck up. But it's hard to do when it's raining down on you. You just like, I just want to survive it.
Yeah.
You want to survive it. But I have to survive it.
Oh God! But to go. If I got in trouble for a thing, it's always possible. Religion is off the. I couldn't. Russell Brand right now. Russell Brand.
Yes.
He's doing sermons.
Yeah.
For Charlie Kirk, and people are sitting there kind of like, and I'm like, I couldn't do it. I'm not. He's a really great actor.
Yeah, great.
Or he's able to just also sustain it.
Yeah.
I in my head, I get bored. I get annoyed. It's not an integrity thing. I'm just like, I can't pretend that I believe in this anymore.
No, I couldn't either. And guys just they go through phases. It just seems like there's so many ways to get a group to follow you now. And being, writing Christ is King is one of them.
Yeah.
Or being ultra woke is one of them. Or being this way is one. It's all of it is a hustle. All of it is about how do I climb the ladder? Do I go out and scold other people for misbehaving? That's just become another rung in the ladder. It's a way to climb. It's all a way to climb. There's almost zero sincerity in any of it.
Yeah, I feel like with Christianity, if you're cool at all, like Russell Brand, there's a for a conservative Christian, pretty cool guy.
Pretty cool guy. Yeah,
he doesn't wear a shirt.
Yeah,
and if he believes in your thing, you're like, oh, cool. I was worried I was a loser here.
Yeah.
Russell Brand's here, the guy from the Greek movie.
Get him to the Greek. Yeah,
get him to the Greek. Whoa, big Russell Brand fan over here.
Yeah, huge. Yeah.
Welcome to The Downside. This is a place where we complain, get negative. In a way that makes you feel better about where you are in life. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. I'm here with my co-host Russell Daniels.
Hi, Gianmarco.
And we're here with legendary comedian Jim Norton. Thank you for being here.
I love it.
Oh God, this is coming out the day of the election. Let's get right into it. Who are you voting for?
Cuomo, without a doubt. I don't like Mamdani.
Why?
He's too socialist for me. I'm sure maybe his heart's in the right place, but personally, that's not what I want.
Sure.
I tend to like balance. So, like in a place like Texas, I would rather see a Democrat governor, and in a place like New York, I'd rather see a Republican mayor. I like a little bit of checks and balances. Curtis. I think Curtis is the most real of all of them. The guy got shot in the back of a taxi by the mob. I mean,
Sure, he told the story.
Yeah.
He really does seem like he could be a cast member in West Side Story. Like the one that has no songs.
Yeah.
The one that the both gangs are like, whoa, you are too intense.
Whoa, guy, yeah, settle down.
I watched him tell this gun story. It's a little there's some of it's I'm like, I want to see the police report.
Okay.
It sounds pretty extraordinary.
yeah, I think 5 bullets he took. I'm pretty sure.
5 bullets?
I believe it was 5. It's many years ago. He got it. It was a setup. He got into a taxi and they shot him.
The fun part in the debate, they asked the cab question, do you take a taxi? Almost like to be like, which one of you is too fucking rich to take a taxi? And they got to him and he says, I don't, because I was shot in the back. And they're like, okay, fine. We believe you have a good reason to not want to do this. Yeah, it's definitely fun. I haven't done a lot of research into this patrol that he ran. I do.
Oh, the Guardian Angels?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I do. I gotta look up what they've done.
Yeah.
It's easy to say we run a really good patrol that does good things, and sometimes those patrols they commit.
They
hate
do,
crimes.
but those guys were legendary back in the days where they were standing on the and this when the subway was much more dangerous in the 80s, and I don't know if they started in the 70s, but they would go down there, I believe, without definitely not have guns, and they would just protect people from because people were getting assaulted a lot more in the subway back then than they are now. So I think as far as being a legitimate guy, I think Curtis is a good person, and I believe he of all of those guys, he's the only one who's like literally sacrificed himself physically. But Cuomo, I think, has the best shot at winning, and he's not, to me, he's closer to what I would want in New York than Mamdani is. So that's why I would
your
vote for him.
point though about wanting a Democrat in Texas, which probably not going to happen.
Probably not. No.
That when it comes to New York, might be more of a liberal bastion, but we're living in an increasingly conservative country. So
Sure.
is there not an argument to be made, per your logic with Texas, that you want someone further to the left here, particularly to stand up to whether it be ICE agents coming into New York City, the National Guard coming in here, or the fact that Cuomo feels like he could be compromised in certain respects. I mean, listen, Trump's going to go after Zoran no matter what. I mean, I don't know if this will kick off the inevitable civil war or which might, whatever. But Cuomo might just be. We may be in a conservative place, despite New York being a very liberal.
I can't see it in New York. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't think that New York is in any danger. New York is such a weird ecosystem. I mean, it does depend on federal funding, but it's such an ecosystem into itself. I don't see anybody from the outside swaying, and I don't think Trump. I mean, I think he wants Curtis to drop out. I think that
for sure,
because he lives here, and I think that he would prefer Cuomo than Mamdani.
And I just don't want anyone Trump prefers right now. I mean, I have multiple reasons that I like Zoran, but yeah, I just think Cuomo would be friendly towards Trump in a way that I'm not comfortable with. I mean, there's a lot. I like the socialist attempts. I don't think every grocery. I think the Trader Joe's and the Whole Foods are going to be fine.
Yes.
I think we'll start with 3 government-owned grocery stores. We'll see how it works. People, whenever they hear a socialist, they're like, and then we become a socialist country. We are so far from a socialist country.
We're not going to be a socialist country. I just, as I've gotten older, I've trusted the idea of government putting my money in places less and less. I don't mind paying taxes. I'm fine paying taxes, but I just wish I had a little more say on where they went.
Sure.
I don't trust those people to make decisions. And I like a balance. I hate the way the Supreme Court is right now. I would like a 5-4 balance. I think is really healthy.
True, you want that. I agree, but we're not going to that. And so in my mind, I go, the places that we can go further to have the people anyone who's centrist is not going to challenge the court system. We saw that with Biden. So if the court is fakakta right now, which it is, how is it ever going to change? We can hope that it goes back to this, but if anything, it's going to just go further and further right.
Or term limits. I mean, 16 years is the right amount of time. I think it should.
Sure,
certain
but
elections
it's
should
going to
hinge
take
on
someone. It's going to take someone really outside the system to propose that.
Well, yeah.
And to me, you're going to find that more with leftists and socialists than you are with Cuomo, who is a centrist at the end of the day.
He is, and I prefer a centrist. I'm voting for him definitely. I don't like people on the far left. I also don't like people who are far right religious. So I can't go in either direction ever.
What's what you like about the far left?
I think they're frauds, and not every individual.
Sure,
but I have found that so many of them talk a good game about And I think the people who've been nicest to me and my wife have been people on the right. Like they've been far more, hey, congratulations, welcoming and pleasant. People on the left I've found have become thought and language police. Most of the problems I've had in my career, other than being fired for the Sex for Sam thing in 2002 from radio, but most of the issues I've run into material-wise and content-wise have come from censorship from the left. So I personally have grown very, very disillusioned with them. Although I don't judge my friends for their politics, and I find they are much more likely to do that than my conservative friends are.
So just for people who don't know, your wife is trans?
Yes.
And I think, I'm trying to speak for the viewer to a degree, might be surprised where I go, I do not feel like the right, and we're talking in big broad strokes here, is particularly friendly.
You're right. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
So... But you're saying individually and people and just, just people who've invited us places. Like, you know what I mean? But does the individual matter if the overall ideology is... I think what I find so fascinating about your work is during the segment of leftism that was word policing or mixed in with the internet, which allowed it to become a lot snappier. You could search for the word the person may have said 10 years ago and you have it right there in front of you. I go, your lifestyle was like sexually open, pro sex work. You have a trans wife, and I go like, that feels like it very much butt heads with religious ideology, conservative ideology, right-wing ideology, and I think that's a lot of people leftists, even with the language policing. I do think a lot of it is some people do have a hope that, hey, don't say this word, don't misgender this person because it's cruel and it's mean. And did that get into a place of policing and if someone fucked up once? But how did you feel? I guess... Don't you look at the right and go, well, fuck, if this becomes more and more popular, there are going to be anti-trans
100%.
laws. And,
of course.
And they'll nullify. I mean, I'm not,
they're very marriage. Against our lifestyle and marriage in many ways. Yeah, 100%, which is why I don't vote for Republicans. I've only voted for one Republican in my life, Lee Zeldin, because I dislike Kathy Hochul a lot. And I liked him more. So I voted for him. He's the only Republican I've ever voted for. I typically only vote independent. And it's not because I'm afraid to take a stand. I just don't like either group enough. I don't respect either group enough. And I think the two-party system is why we're kind of fucked. And I think that Ross Perot, which was the first time I voted, was the one shot we had at literally having an independent get somewhere and then kind of force the other two to be a little bit better. And unfortunately, he lost his mind, and he wound up costing Bush Sr. the election. But
I do a lot of work with in terms of political reform, and a huge problem in this state is closed primaries. They further, like, you're an independent, you can't vote in the primaries. So what we see is further left and further right candidates make it into the general election. You're locking out over 1 million voters in New York City alone, over 3 million voters in New York State. So it is a thing of when we're having these elections that are getting more and more partisan, and you're electing more and more partisan candidates, that's what we're seeing. New York is like one of it's because it's an older state. It's in the minority though of states that have closed primaries. It's not the norm across the country, and it's like, but it's big states like Florida, Pennsylvania, New York. So that's why some of these like big states, it's just it fucks up the whole thing.
It's frustrating, and I don't think we can recall people in New York either. This is where California is so much better than us, because they got rid of prosecutors like Gascon and Chesa Boudin in San Francisco. They weren't doing the job. They were being too soft on crime, and the residents were sick of it, so they recalled them. We can't recall Alvin Bragg. We can't recall our governor, but there's a threat of that is very important, and we don't have that threat here.
We don't have initiative and referendum, so we can't put things on the ballot to vote on. Like, we can't like be like, here's a petition, we got 100,000 people to sign it, it's going to be on the ballot to vote on. It's like has to be done through legislation, and it's so much harder to get. None of these people getting elected want to change how they get elected.
Of course,
Guys, it is cold in New York, and it's only going down. And when I leave in the morning, I need something simple. I need something sharp. I want to feel good. I need things that not only will I wear it to get to my Soul Cycle class, but that I can just keep wearing it throughout the day. And for me, that's Quince. And the bonus, Quince pieces make great gifts too.
This season's lineup is simple but smart and easy with Quince. $50 Mongolian cashmere sweaters that feel like an everyday luxury, and wool coats that are equal parts stylish and durable.
Their denim nails the fit and everyday comfort, all at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay. By partnering directly with ethical factories and top artisans, Quince cuts out the middlemen to deliver premium quality at half the cost of other high-end brands, so you can give luxury quality pieces without the luxury price tag.
Give and get timeless holiday staples that last this season with Quince. Go to quince.com/downside for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too. That's QUINCE.com/downside. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/downside.
So when you saw, like, I hate using the word woke because it feels almost like it's more complicated than that. But certainly I feel like a part of it as someone who grew up in the generation of that, where it was like trying to combat homophobia, trying to combat transphobia, trying to be kind towards people that were persecuted, and I think one would argue that it became just about the words itself, and it became annoying and ultimately turned people off in a way. But I do, and yeah, there were grifters. There's grifters everywhere in the world.
Sure.
But I think like the intention of it was attempting to be good. And then you look at this more right-wing shift and you look at the people. I mean, fucking J.D. Vance going, if you see your friend made a Charlie Kirk joke, call their employers and get them fired. And then a month later going, those guys with the group chat saying all sorts of things. Sure. They're just kids. And you just, it's, hopefully it breaks down to a degree. This just swinging, this grifter. I mean, what are politicians but professional grifters at the end of the day?
And they're all, and I said that you asked about the far left. I said fraud. The far right are frauds too. They're all the same. Like, and I'm not saying.
But are they the same in the sense of like the left, for at least as I view it, it is less judgmental about transness, gayness.
Yes, less judgmental about that
so
stuff.
In my mind, that alone is an element where I go, this is the direction morally to sit. That's where my politics, as I grew up, it was about gay marriage.
Sure.
And I think I was so young, I looked at my parents, my mom and stepdad's disastrous marriage, and my parents' marriage, and I was like, why the fuck should they be allowed to get married and gay people don't? It was so simple. So in that side, I see myself more left-leaning alone. Do you feel, based on the fact that you are more sexually exploratory, open, not in the norm, so to speak, does that weigh in on your political views at all?
I mean, it's progressives are better for my marriage and my private life than conservatives are, undoubtedly.
Yeah.
But I find when I say that they're the exact same people, I mean that there's a narcissism in the idea of imposing belief on other people. There's a narcissism in my way of seeing this is right, and you're flawed and broken if you don't see it this way, and you should be punished. And that's the conservatives proved that they're full of shit with free speech when it came to Charlie Kirk.
Of course.
And the progressives have proved they're full of shit when it comes to free speech with 100 other things they wanted to scold people for. And I don't think that progressives, for whether it's good intention or just the idea of being punitive, what I hate about woke is not, I know the word woke is overused.
Yeah.
But what I hate about it, and what goes under the radar, is there's a punitive aspect to it. It's punishing. And it's not just built in altruism. It is also built in a desire to dominate and to impose will, but it passes off itself as altruistic. That's what kind of drives me crazy about it. Mm-hmm. And when I see people imposing their will on other people, it drives me crazy. And I think they hurt trans people as much as they are pro-trans in a way that conservatives never will be.
Yeah.
But by being so forceful they have now, because people were much nicer about trans people, and my wife is more hardcore about this than I am. They were much nicer 6, 7, 8 years ago than they are now. The sports hurt it a lot because the lack of conversation. If you questioned it, you're a transphobe. Nobody left any room for conversation. And when they didn't do that, it just swung back the other way. And now conservatives are like, fuck you. And that's why you're seeing what you're seeing. That's a part of it.
To a degree, but I also think like the trans sports conversation, the absurdity was that it was, 14 kids overall. It was so small. I feel like it was chosen selectively from people who ultimately were anti-trans, and they saw that and they utilized that as just they went so hard after that one. At the end of the day, I'm like, let these 14 schools kind of figure it out. Like, let them work it out. The idea that this becomes the national conversation over all trans rights, it was weaponized. It wasn't just liberals and leftists insisting upon themselves. It became the rallying cry.
It did. Yes, it became the rallying cry. I think they also saw it as like,
and they would have done it with something else, like they could have kept it about bathrooms, and then from the leftist angle, you go, well, if you never stake your claim in the ground, you could go, well, it's just about this, and before you know it, it's about marriage, and then it goes back and back and back, like civil rights. It feels like it is won through staunchly defending what might seem like small things, a bathroom. Feels like small, maybe, but you give that up.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's like, wow, how are we still talking about where people shit and piss? But it's like, if you don't hold on to that, you can't make that next step.
And you're right, but that's also the exact point a conservative would make. But they just are on the other side of it. They would say exactly, you don't hold on to the bathrooms, then what's next? If you don't just fight this one little thing with sports, well, then our daughters are competing. Then what? Did you understand what I mean? Like, everybody looks at it like there's no give and take. If I don't dig in on this and hold on to it, I'm gonna lose the farm. And I think that's what happened. And especially from where we are sitting, like, I've watched the tide change. Do I think there's a lot of bigotry, Of course, and most of it comes from the conservative side. I don't think progressives are going to try to have my wife change gender markers. Like, I know that conservatives want that. So I'm not delusional about, hey, the arch conservative religious people are our friends. Like, I'm not at all.
Yeah.
I just find them and progressives to be the exact same people. And it's like when you watch two gangs fighting it out, or two biker gangs. They have different certain ideals, or different certain things, but the guts of it is the same. They're the same person underneath it. And I think AOC and Marjorie Taylor Greene are the same person. They just fight on different sides of the fence. So, but I don't look at either one of them and go, wow, they're so noble. That's kind of how I look at it, and that's why I've been very frustrated. I'm more frustrated with progressives than conservatives.
Now, how is that possible?
Because progressives, I feel,
because you want them. Is it because you want a more sexually inclusive world?
No, I just feel more let down by them. I feel completely let down by them. Conservatives are not doing anything that I'm surprised at. Religious conservatives are never going to fight for trans people. Religious conservatives are never going to fight for necessarily sexual openness, no matter how many fucking people on that side can't get one in their mouth fast enough, which I do love when they fucking get outed. I mean, I love when a guy is like anti-gay and he just can't stop. There's no better thing than that.
What do you think it is? What do you think it is going on in there? Have you met people that share your sexual proclivities, whatever they may be,
Sure.
and then in public are very much like
100%.
So what's the difference between you and them?
I don't know. I've been very fortunate. I mean, being a comedian, let's be honest, it's a lot easier in our job to be open to a certain degree. Like, if you're an accountant, you can't walk in and go, this fucking hooker last night tried to take money out of my wallet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our job is a little bit easier to do that. But I also, I don't know, I've never really cared if people didn't like it. Like, even on Opie and Anthony, which had this reputation of being, they never cared about gay marriage. Like, they were never, as much as that was like a hardcore place to be, they were never anti-gay or anti-sex worker. Like, you know what I mean? Like, even in that world, I was very comfortable talking about what I liked, liking trans people. And if you live your life and if you're not looking for an applause or a pat on the back, you say whatever you want. Who cares?
Yeah. Was there any temptation when you suddenly start going like, I'm attracted to trans people, and people were like, you'd be like, no, what the fuck is this?
No,
what
because
is this?
the world. Here's my wife and I. It's very funny. We don't get invited to functions or all these people that fucking babble about inclusivity and visibility.
You don't get invited to GLAAD.
None of them?
Fuck them. Nothing. Fuck them. Nothing. We're not the couple they want. And we're not the ones they want. We're a legit married couple. And again, they're not obligated to give us anything. But I'm just saying, like, why my personal feelings towards them is I've seen it from living the life I live. I see how they talk. And, the only people who invite us anywhere are people who are, like the only TV show that invites me on is Gutfeld on Fox, and I'm not a conservative.
Sure,
I'm not anti-conservative either.
You said this. I promise I won't harbor this whole time.
You can,
but you said like you're not anti-conservative.
No.
But I go, you're not anti this religious right who ultimately doesn't believe in trans people or that you should be married. You're not anti that at all.
I don't really care about that because they're doing what they do. Meaning,
but until they get power, and then they will do more.
They will do it if they can do it. I guess.
Are you waiting until they can enact an action that really pisses you off and go,
no, but
now
I mean,
I'm anti-you?
They are, whether it's Christianity or Judaism or Islam, none of them are friends to trans people. None of them are, some may be more egregious than others,
Sure.
but none of them are friends to people who have any kind of a different lifestyle. So maybe I say I'm not anti-conservative. I'm just not butthurt over what conservatives are doing because I know that's what they do. Like, they're being consistent with what they do. Like, I'm not surprised by any of it, but I'm also not delusional enough to think that's good for us. Let's hope that it's 7-2 next year on the court. Like, I'm not a fucking idiot. I do understand that Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have fucking walked away when she had the opportunity to,
of course.
and refused to, and then there'd be 5-4 in the court. John Roberts is pretty good as far as the Chief Justice. I like him. I think Ketanji Brown Jackson and Clarence Thomas, I know they're two black ones, but they're the most extreme on the court. They're the most predictable, and I think both of them are bad for the court.
Mm-hmm. So how did you meet your wife?
She sent me a message because I had done interviews where I talked about trans people and liking them. And I think the one she saw, the interview was on Vice, which was like in 2015. We just started talking online. I mean, she lived in Norway, so we talked for 8 months before we met.
Wow.
Did you find that talking about sex on stage let the world know, like, hey, hit Jim up if you're into this?
Kind of, yeah. It's funny. It wasn't the intention of it because it's just where my mind goes. But again, even on radio, I mean, people really you're talking about everything for hours. I mean, slow news days is when you really spill your guts. You know what I mean?
When we lose it here, when we have our Patreon episode, sometimes it gets to porn, and we're like, okay, we have a couple. We can squeeze a couple minutes out of this.
100%. But you learn, like, people, like, I lost, I'm sure, a lot of women who wouldn't have wanted to go out with me, but the ones who did were troopers, because like the ones who stuck around, like, you know what, I know those they were fun. And it also, I don't ever want to have to explain myself to people. What did you do? Like, I'm not embarrassed by it.
Was there ever the inverse where you went with someone and you start making out and they piss on your leg and you're like, whoa, this is not how I necessarily like it done?
No. There's no bad way to have your leg pissed on. I would admire I would admire the ability to take charge. Are you kidding me?
Oh. So you're talking for 8 months, and then when do you finally meet? Like, what's that? Are you nervous about meeting?
Well,
that's a lot of buildup.
It's a lot of buildup. She was going to come and visit, but the U.S. Was denying her a visitation visa because she had and they would with anybody, it was a very minor marijuana ticket, not even an arrest. But when something like that happens, you're ineligible for admission to the United States.
In Norway?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're ineligible for admission into the U.S. So you have to get a waiver from Homeland Security. So it took us a long time because they thought she was going to move here illegally. It took us a long time for her to get into the States.
Would you consider yourself together before she came here?
Oh, yeah. Because I booked gigs in Norway just to meet her.
So you did get to see her?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, cool.
I mean, we were together for years. It took us 5 years for her to get in.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
I wound up moving her. We broke up at one point. She had been rejected a few times. And then I'm like, we got
Did
engaged.
you time your breakup with the rejection, or did you?
No. We had just been fighting, and the distance became too difficult. But then we got back in early 2019, and I moved her to Canada. I moved her to Montreal so I could drive up and see her on the weekends.
That's nice.
So yeah, I would drive up every Thursday after radio, Friday, Saturday, and come back Sunday and do radio again the following week. So I and then the pandemic hit, and my friend goes, they're going to close the Canadian border. So I literally packed a bag. I was out the door in an hour, and I drove to Montreal, and I just stayed there for 15 months.
Oh my God!
I was in Canada for the whole
didn't know
pandemic.
that.
Yeah. Because I would not have been able to see her. So, but it was a weird blessing too, because nobody could go anywhere, and I was doing radio every day. We were all doing it on ISDN from home, so I was able to do it from Canada and live with. I'd never lived with anybody before.
Yeah.
And it just worked.
I would have preferred to have been in Montreal than New York for that time. I mean, maybe not the winters. I haven't been there for the winters.
It was colder in Montreal than Norway. It's a fucking nightmare in the winter. We were right behind the Bell Center, and oh my God, was it freezing. But I love the Canadians because they were so welcoming to us.
That's romantic.
It was, and we also survived that. So I'm like, if I can live with her here in a 1-bedroom in Montreal, which was just trial by fire, nothing is going to be harder in America, and it wasn't. She finally got in. They finally it was a fiance visa. We did the 90-day fiance visa, and they finally it just took. The embassy had closed for 4 or 5 months, so it finally worked, and she came in, and
Is she a citizen now?
No, she hasn't been here long enough. Hopefully, eventually, but you have to go through a couple of phases before you can actually apply for naturalization.
So you were born in New Jersey.
I was, yes, and I started comedy in New Jersey. And I moved into New York. This is what a creep I am. Fucking New York after 9/11, property value went down in New York, and I could finally afford to move in. I was like, I had a radio job. I'm like, let me fucking move in. And I moved in. I went to a $300 a month apartment to a $2,200 a month apartment.
Was there a big influx in a 9/12 and
No,
beyond?
everyone left.
But then the properties went down, and I mean, a bunch of new people came to New York after that.
Yeah, because they were trying to get people in. The air quality, you could still smell it in the air.
Yeah.
So
How long are we talking?
Months, right?
Oh, way more. Yeah, months and months and months. I moved in 2002. So, they were offering a free 8 months rent or whatever, like on top of your
Wow.
rent. Like, you know what I mean? Just to get you in. And it worked, and I moved in, and then we promptly got fired from the radio show. So I was panicking.
Sure.
Yeah. I was like, I'm dead. I fucking have 2 years left on this lease, and I can't afford it.
I wonder if they were offering like terrorism insurance. I feel like insurers, they probably get on that pretty fast.
Yeah.
9/11
I remember
insurance.
my first job was down there in 2011, and they found part of the plane like that year, like wedged between two it was like one of my first day things there. They were like blocked off the street, and they ended up finding part of it that they never knew was there, and it was like
that's how dirty New York is. We're still finding pieces of the 9/11 plane
10 years later. Yeah.
What happened? He was sweeping up. He found a cockpit. Oh, wow. Yeah.
Did you have any good 9/11 jokes at the time? Do you remember what your first one was? Like,
no, I remember back then the cellar was closed for a while, and we were trying to figure out how do we get into talking about it, because it was on the radio too. It was hard. We started actually making fun of people who wrote songs about it, and that was our way to make fun of it again. We would try to guess what the next rhyming word, power, and we would stop it. Tower. It's going to be tower, and it was tower. So we kind of got into being funny again with that. And on stage, I remember at the cellar, everybody had daydreams about how they would have handled 9/11. Like, it's a human instinct. Like, what would I have done? Would I have, we were all our own hero. And we wound up talking about this one night at the cellar. It was Keith Robinson and myself and Patrice, and it might have been Bill Burr and just a few other guys just talking through this. And I remember myself, Keith's fantasy was so fucking stupid that I went on stage and I told the audience what his daydream about. I'm like, this is how stupid your host is.
what did he say?
oh, this is how he would have stopped. But he wasn't trying to be funny. We were talking, and he goes, if he knew it was going to happen, as he was getting on the plane, he goes, I would have punched the flight attendant. And when they go, what are you doing? I would have said, those guys are terrorists. And he thought that would have worked as opposed to just getting. He's the stupidest person in comedy ever.
Wait. So. As they're starting to hijack the plane.
No, before, as they're boarding. Our
boarding.
fantasy was, if you knew they were terrorists, like, what would you have done to stop it?
Oh.
Keith's went to boarding.
Punching
either the flight attendant or the woman.
Not the terrorists.
Yeah, but he goes, those guys are terrorists. Yeah, he hits the woman. But
hit a woman because I'm not going to get in trouble for this. We're going to be dead in a second. If I was going to die, I'd hit a woman right on the way out.
That's exactly, just to show her who's boss. No, he meant that the flight wouldn't take off.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought the fantasy was always like, if it started on the plane, what would I do?
That's how
I know those fantasies where it's like, I'd leap over the middle and I'd punch them.
No.
You?
No.
You're just jerking off right then and there?
Yeah. Did I ever tell you when we've talked? I can't remember if we talked about this. One of my favorite Vulture pieces. One time it was about jokes comedians wish they hadn't. They regretted telling, and it was my favorite thing because all like the younger comics, it was things like, "Oh, I wish I didn't used to call myself fat," or like was nicer to myself. And then I can't remember who it was, but they were like,
I think it was the bald guy.
They were like the week of 9/11. They went on stage at UCB covered in ash and did like a bit as like someone like a comedian trying to their set being interviewed by the TV and trying to fit in their jokes and promote their show in the
Ty, can you try to find that? I think it's the guy. He's bald. He does the movies podcast. What's his name?
I can't remember.
With the teeth, he has a gap tooth.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Yeah, we'll find it.
But God, I love that. I
love that too.
That's so funny.
Did you ever? What would you do?
I remember one time I was on stage at a place called The Brokerage, and again, it was maybe the year after.
Is Governors?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was just known as The Brokerage back then, but it was in 2002 maybe or 2000, and I was doing. I had 9/11 bits that I would do after a while, like you just talked about all of it.
Yeah.
But I remember some woman was talking. And like objecting, and I turned on her and I started, and some woman at the table was looking at me like, and I'm like, okay, I just understood she probably had someone die on 9/11. So or it meant it was hurting her. So I backed. It's one of the few times I've ever just like, you know what I mean? But it was her friend at the table going like, please. And I'm like, oh, I'm not a fucking idiot. Like something.
She's doing full sign language.
Yeah. You know, the hair of the falling person blowing in the wind.
and then he punched the stewardess.
Yeah.
It didn't
Those
work.
guys are terrorists. And I'm like, they would have arrested you, you asshole. They wouldn't stop a flight because of you. But yeah, that was how we got into joking. Was I just went on stage and I told, and those other guys had talked through their fantasies on. Patrice's, I don't remember what his was, but he started telling it on stage, like what he would have done, and people laughed because they connected to it because everyone had thought it through in that moment.
Yeah.
Everyone had wondered how you'd handle it. So that was kind of how we started making it funny.
I think more about what I would do if a plane was going down, and I've said I think I would hit the ground, and the whole time I'd be wondering, should I try to jerk off, and would I make it in time? And it would be the vacillating. That would be my final moment. It's being like, no, I should pray.
I would say jerk off and just hope that it's not actually turbulence, because then you're fucking just jerking off as you hit an air pocket and you have to explain yourself. What are you doing? I thought we were going to die.
I thought we were going to die.
Yeah.
When you go to court and you say to the judge, and he's like, yeah, I get it. You thought you were going to die.
Yeah.
There should be a clause for you were pretty sure you were going to die.
Yeah.
For public indecency. Just that.
Yeah, I would jerk off, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, sure. Why
Even
not?
if your wife was there?
Especially if my wife was there. Absolutely. To show her who's boss. To show her how unnecessary she is in this final moment.
Ty, did you find it?
So I found the article. It's going to piss you off. It's pay gated. So but I saw that. I know what guy.
Vulture, you're not providing enough to put a pay gate. You're providing interviews with me.
Hold on. See,
they're all trying to do it.
You'll see a glimpse of him because I know who you're talking about. And I'm trying to realize. I'm trying to figure out what he was in. So I
have an app that downloads despite it. I'm going to override it.
That
guy. Yeah, I saw.
What's the name of the article? The joke I most regret. Here, Russell, you talk. I'll be back.
What's his name? Do you know his name?
No, but if you see, refresh it one more time.
We want to
Ty.
have him on the podcast.
Refresh it one more time. There, that guy.
Oh, yeah. It looks like Tiny Tim.
And he looks. He could be related to you.
Sure. Yeah, it could be. Unsightly.
You could play Tiny Tim. You could play a.
If I lost 30 pounds.
You think that's what's stopping Tiny Tim? People are going like, we need a skinny.
We need a
tight Tiny Tim.
slender Tiny Tim.
You had your character. Tell me your Tiny Tim
Yeah,
character.
I had a character, Tiny Tim. It was basically me, and it was like clearly like this kid's been fucking faking it the whole time. You know, like he's like it's like bit past the next Christmas and he's still like dying, but he's like the fattest fucking kid in the house and like bigger than the dad and like, you know.
It's so funny the Tiny Tim you're talking about and the Tiny Tim I was talking about are different people.
Oh, you're talking
I was
about
talking about the Tiny Tim who got married on the Tonight Show.
Oh, I don't know that.
That's
Tiny
why I
Tim.
said he looks like Tiny Tim.
Who's that Tiny
I
Tim?
thought
Oh my God! Tiptoe through the tulips with me.
I have no idea.
Oh my
Don't
God!
God. Ty. Tell me who this is.
Tiny
Paul
Tim,
Scheer.
and it was Miss Vicky.
Paul Scheer.
Paul Scheer.
Paul Scheer.
Is that
I was
right?
performing at the UCB Theater in New York City when it first opened. One of the things that UCB was really good was teaching us to push limits. We were going to be, for lack of a better term, punk rock version of comedy theater. It was called the Sick and Twisted Sketch Show. Everyone came up with their own pieces. Oh, so this was after. Okay. Okay, sorry. One of these shows was scheduled for the 1 year anniversary of 9/11.
Oh, okay. Well, not as
Still the anniversary.
The
first
number one. Yeah.
I was in New York City during 9/11 and incredibly affected by that. That show came and it almost like, what can we do that would almost give the finger to 9/11? That was the energy. I wanted to reclaim it. I played a man who was trapped under the rubble and had just gotten out. And it came out that I wasn't in the World Trade Center, but when I saw it on TV, I ran down there because I was an aspiring stand-up comic looking for TV airtime. I was in a suit that was incredibly tattered. Then I was doing material. Not even 9/11 material, just really terrible material while my suit was still kind of smoking. Every time I got nervous, I would pat myself down and ash and soot would come off me because I was covered in baby powder. Good bit. Good bit.
Sure.
I just
Also-
the juxtaposition between other people's things was what was funny.
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
article
yeah.
to me because it was a lot like, you know, oh, I called myself ugly.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was unkind to myself.
Yeah.
Tiny Tim. I can't believe you guys didn't know Tiny
No,
Tim.
I have no idea who Tiny Tim is.
Hold on. So Tiny
Pull
Tim
up
looks
Tiny
like
Tim.
Paul Scheer?
I
No,
thought
I was talking about Tiny Tim, the Christmas
We were talking about the Christmas
character, and you
Cratchit.
said he looks like Tiny Tim.
I thought the first thing in that one picture that brought up, I thought Tiny Tim, but I thought it was a one picture you brought up, like when he was the one that came up behind the paywall.
This?
I don't know who that guy is. What was the picture that came up on the Vulture article?
That was
okay,
Paul
we got-
Scheer.
That from the photo, that moment in that photo reminded me of Tiny Tim.
No, not Tin Tim.
No, Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim.
Tiny.
Oh, hold on.
Tiny Tim
Guys,
and
I
Miss
forgot
Vicky.
one Y.
They got married live on the Tonight Show. It was one of the most watched things
Sorry,
ever
right
at that
now.
point.
Why would they get married on the Tonight Show?
It was 1969. It
Oh,
was
I see,
bizarre.
I see.
Oh, I think it was a picture of Weird Al.
Oh, that's what.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
I think
Al.
it was Weird
Oh,
Al.
is that who that
Weird
was?
Al in
Yeah,
that
Weird
article.
Al.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
because I didn't have my glasses on. I could. That's
that
who
was
I was
Weird
thinking
Al.
of.
I thought
Okay.
you were saying like that guy doesn't look like he can walk.
Oh no, that's funny.
And that's why when I said you, like you could be like, you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. No, I meant the Tiny
Weird
Tim.
Al.
Sure.
Okay.
Who sang "Tiptoe Through the Tulips"? A fine rendition of that song. Have you never heard that?
No,
"Tiptoe Through the Tulips"? You're a theater kid.
I didn't even know this was part of the theater canon.
It's probably not.
I think it's part of that horror film, the Conjuring or whatever. They use it a lot. It's like a really creepy song.
Yeah.
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 I'd play it, but it would.
I
It would-
know.
yeah, you'd
fucking
lose
played
out on
2
that.
seconds
Yeah.
of a goddamn song. YouTube.
I know. He played the ukulele. He was a real character. And
Yeah.
Miss Vicky was quite lovely.
It's really creepy, actually.
Yeah.
The terrifying song.
That's Weird Al, by the way. You pointed to that like that was Tiny Tim.
No, Tiny Tim that's him.
That's
Yeah.
him.
Okay,
Yeah,
to be
Weird Al
fair-
should play him in a movie. Is
Yeah.
he dead?
Look,
Tiny Tim must
He's
be
dead. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, Tiny Tim is
Oh
dead.
my God, there's him dead right there with the ukulele
Oh my
to the
God.
right.
Yeah, he died relatively young. So he had a couple of follow-up songs, but he was like a really weird sensation.
A truly sad and peculiar story. Oh,
Yeah.
well.
He's like what's his name? Who was an odd Paul Williams, who was such an odd sex symbol from the 70s. He's still involved in. You ever hear that song? It's just an old-fashioned love song. He wrote big Muppet song too. One of the big. What's a big Muppet song?
What's the big Muppet song? Muppets was a little before my time.
I don't know the Big Muppet song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When I'm up in
I mentioned Tiny Tim and the Muppets. If I wonder why I'm nowhere in this business, remind me of the fucking things I bring up on podcasts. Tiny Tim, get it? Oh God.
I do think it's tougher in stand-up to bring up like a thing that everyone knows. Like I think it's definitely. I can go further back. I can talk about Rainforest Cafe, which I don't even know exists anymore.
Sure.
And then you talk about anything. It's just we live in such a more fractured world. It makes it tougher.
That's right. Yeah, everybody can have their own pure online existence that actually coincidentally agrees with all their politics, but then not see anything outside of it.
Totally.
Like, what? Who is that? I know. Yeah. Back
Yeah.
then, you were kind of forced to see a little bit of everything because it was 3 channels.
Oh God. We were talking about you have a YouTube special. That's fantastic.
Thank you, man.
And then I remember when I saw you, the audio dropped out when you said cunt, and I said,
Yeah, for
and
YouTube.
I was like, okay, I got to get ready for this.
Yeah.
And my cunt was okay because I used it in the drag sense, serving cunt. And
Okay.
their algorithms are advanced enough to, and those woke scolds, they're okay when the drag queen says it.
Yeah.
When a straight, as a drag queen says it on stage.
Yeah.
But then I ran into issues with my Mr. Hands joke. We had to drop the audio from the couple Mr. Hands jokes.
Yeah.
Because they thought it was endorsing. Let me just take a pause here because we're putting this on YouTube. Boop. Bestiality.
Yeah.
And then when we went further, there was a line about how my dad, when I was a certain age, that again I'm speaking like I'm fucking being watched by Big Brother.
I
When I was a
understand.
certain age that wasn't the appropriate age, he gave me a Playboy magazine.
Yeah.
And they said I was saying it was okay to give porn to a minor, and I said I was the minor.
Yeah.
I was the minor.
Well, this is where the algorithms and stuff are disgusting and terrible and outdated. Like, I interviewed George Santos. He was like my 5th podcast guest, and he was a fun hang.
Well, now what made him your 5th? That is early on.
I'd wanted to interview him before. I'd wanted to
Now
interview
tell me why.
I just thought he
By
was
the
a
6th, he was your
fascinating
co-host.
guy. He was a fascinating guy. I knew he'd be an interesting, fun guy to talk to.
Yeah.
Here's
and
my
he
question
was.
to you, I guess, is like, because I'm more annoyingly woke. I look at George Santos and I look at briefly the crimes, and I go, not good. This guy's not good. He's raising money for veterans or whatever the fuck, and he's putting in his own pocket. He's a piece of shit, even if he is entertaining.
But I look at it like this. Why shouldn't I interview and have a good time? Like, why should the people who claim to be unbiased news get to talk to all of the really interesting people? They interview Ted Bundy. They interview all these people, and I just want to talk to funny George Santos. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
Like there was one reporter went into a cave to interview Bin Laden. They interviewed the head of ISIS. So like, why?
Okay, so
Okay.
let me play devil's advocate to it. So
Sure.
so they would go, well, I'm not interviewing Bin Laden to be like,
It's fun.
Who's your favorite contestant on RuPaul this week? Like they're going. We're doing it for a purpose.
Sure.
Whereas we're entertainers.
And I here's what my answer to them would be: you rely on advertising dollars, and the better your interview, the more people that watch it, the more you can charge for rates. You are the exact same because you're not unbiased. They think they're unbiased, but they're not. But they're doing it for reasons as well. It furthers their career. It furthers the network. Do I think there's a public good? Sure. I mean, I know the difference, of course. But I'm saying I don't feel bad. I've interviewed other guys I've interviewed Rick Ross multiple times, who I like very much, the drug dealer, not the.
Sure.
I've interviewed Frank Lucas before he died, who Denzel played in American Gangster. I've interviewed some really interesting people. So
Sure.
there's no reason to not talk to someone just because they've done things.
Who would you struggle with? You clearly have moral views.
Sure.
Who would you go, I don't want him on my show because I don't want to have a good time with them. I don't want to have a fun, jokey interview with this person.
That's a good
And
question.
not because they're boring, but
Right.
yeah.
Sure, because
Yeah.
of the bigger picture thing. I mean,
The greater good.
yeah,
That whole shit.
I mean, it's easy to say Hitler, but I've never been offered him. His publicist never reached out, so I don't know. Maybe I could make fun of his paintings. I've been trying to sell them to people. I don't know. I would have to hear a name and then go yes or no because I can't think of anybody that I wouldn't
think.
talk to.
Okay, would you have Cosby's launching a new tour? Ticket sales are struggling. He says, "Hey, Jim, can you help me out to get the word out about my tour? We'll have a good conversation, talk about the good old days."
Oh.
And he keeps it vague like that. He doesn't talk about comedy specifically.
He wouldn't need to keep it vague. I'd say, Bill, come on, we'll talk about the good old days. He wouldn't need to keep it vague. I'd help him out. Come on, Bill. You're one of the greatest to ever perform. Sure, you made a few thousand mistakes, but...
Okay, let's keep going. Who's live? I want to find the one that you go, no. That would...
Because you could just have a real...
Ghislaine Maxwell?
Ghislaine Maxwell.
Yeah, of course, because you could at least do an interview with somebody. Like, you could actually have a real moment with somebody and talk to them. There's nobody I wouldn't talk to. Like, I mean, why wouldn't I interview her? I mean...
But when you interview her, would you go in like, I'm gonna needle her a bit, or will you say, yeah, we'll just talk about whatever. We'll talk about how we're both kind of fucked up.
That's a good question. When I would interview her, I would probably want to talk. They would have to be able, you'd have to be open to discussing anything, though. Like, I couldn't hide from that. You can't hide from the fact that she's in prison for what she's in prison for. So as long as there was nothing off the table, I like to kind of feel my way through it with a person because at the end of the day, you can still have an interesting conversation with somebody without endorsing what they do.
Of course, I think I have that draw. I have that entertainment draw. I want to have fun with an interview, explore, blah blah blah, and then I think like the conversation that it feels like certainly the internet made even more so is of course platforming, which is easy to. It's easy to become annoying. It's like, well, then you can't talk to anyone you disagree with. But I would also argue where it's like, if you don't have any lines, what the internet does is if you, let's say you have Nick Fuentes on the podcast. He's going to be making the rounds. I'm sure he'll probably be asking any day now. That it goes, well, this does expose him to more people who might have a white supremacist leanings, and they see him, they check out his other work, and it just creates for more fans. I mean, ultimately, that's partly why we do these podcasts, to seek more people to know our work, to enjoy us. And then are we not the facilitators of it?
Well, that's something I'm very careful with because whenever people talk about platforming, they are talking about censorship in a certain way. And I'm like, who is to make that decision as to who should be speaking and who shouldn't? Like, I could listen,
in this case.
Well, I'm saying I could talk to Nick Fuentes. I could listen to him, and he wouldn't sway me 1 ounce. I might like him as a person. I've never met him, but I wouldn't be swayed to his views. I've heard a lot of extremist views, and I'm not swayed by them. So I kind of give everybody the credit. Would I interview somebody who, say, didn't believe in the Holocaust and then just kind of yes and nod? No. I would push back and go, no, I do believe it happened. But I can't think of anybody who isn't worthy of being able to speak. Christopher Hitchens was really great when he talked about speech. And he basically was talking about when you censor things, he's like, who would you have make that decision for you? Like what you can read, what you can't read, what you can hear, what you can't hear. And he was asking people, name one person that you would give that job to make that decision for you personally. And no one can come up with a name. There's no one that I would want to hear things and then determine if I should hear them or not. So I kind of look at it that way. I don't believe I'm in that position either. But again, there's a difference between that and having somebody on and going, yeah, tell us all about it. And oh, God, sounds good.
Yeah.
Like,
so
I would
tell
still
me other aspects of the island, Ghislaine.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
we always hear just about this. Surely there were some activities.
Yeah, was there turbulence because a small plane? Yeah, I would ask.
There's a refractory period. You must have had a nice meal.
I would probably ask her about, she'd be a fascinating person to talk to, though. She knows everything. Like, she knows everything that happened.
I know a lot of people would like to talk to her.
Yeah.
I watched that thing on that documentary on her, and it was very funny because it was a lot of her friends talking about, and it was funny because they would all be like, they all had stories of like, we were at this English house, and and then Ghislaine was like, okay, we're all gonna play a game now where the men close their eyes and the girls take off the tops, and and they'd all be like, it was kind of weird, but she always kind of threw out these games that we all would play, and it was just funny to hear them have to admit that this was going on for years and years, and they just thought it was a weird quirk.
She was
of
one
hers.
invite Ghislaine. She always spices up the party.
Has the party. Yeah, after a few drinks, she's like, yeah.
And this goes to my point about how frustrated I am not being invited places. Like, I would love to have been invited to a tit grab party.
Oh man. Man, oh man.
If you're willing, I think if you're willing to push back against something that you disagree with, then whoever you talk to is fine. There's a difference between that and co-signing something that you feel is wrong. I mean, I'm able to. I have to be in a weird place, but I've argued with enough people on air. I'm not afraid of confrontation. So if I don't agree with something, I'll tell somebody I don't agree with.
You ever get into like the guest? And I mean, one of the things I know about you, just watching your work from afar, it's like, if I push back on anything, you're not going to go, hey, fuck you. What is this, a fucking... But some people do. You ever get into a confrontation with someone you had on a show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, sure, I've argued with people. I mean, the most famous one is Jesse Ventura. We got into a nasty argument. We had interviewed Jesse 3 times. And the first time, he and I argued a little bit. The second time, we got along great. And the third time, we got into a bit of a nasty argument. And it's amazing his fans will still write to me. And I'm like, you're mad about an argument 2 men had in 2009? You fucking idiot. Who cares? But, you know, Jesse was one. And there was a few guests over the years where if somebody got snippy with me, I got very quickly to nip that in the bud. It annoyed me a lot.
Where does Russ and I both... confrontation isn't necessarily our go-to.
Right. Yeah.
I have had to, I don't know if you feel this way at all too, but having the podcast, you'll be sitting across from someone and they'll say something that I'm like, I vehemently disagree with in a deep way. And I have, fans and they know. If I'm alone with someone, I can just turn. But now I got people going like, "What the fuck? You just smiled during that part."
Of course.
And it's forced me, I think, in a good way, to be like more. No, I'm not just gonna be polite about it. I'm gonna honestly engage in this.
100%.
But that took me time. Do you feel like you've always been that? And was that like the way you were raised?
It was being, again, live on the air for the same reason you're saying. It's almost like when 2 guys are circled by people and they go, you got to fight? You got to fight because everybody's watching.
Yeah.
So being live on the air, the most important thing was to not look like you were scared or not look like you were afraid to mention it.
Yeah.
I've learned I'm less confrontational than I used to be because I care less about convincing people. Like, I don't mind if someone has a different opinion. Like, I really don't. Like, yeah, you made some good points. Like, I'm not, my whole identity is not invested in an attachment to a group of people. And my whole identity is not invested in being 100% right about everything. I'm wrong half the time. And I know that I'm wrong about a lot of public figures because people have been wrong about me. So I'm like, they get this so wrong. I understand that I can easily get it wrong too. So that's why I'm much more kind of measured than I used to be, because I'm like, I've seen people say things about me and they think they know. And I'm like, I'm the guy and I know he's 100% wrong.
Yeah.
So I'm probably wrong too sometimes.
Yeah. I have felt that with certain showbiz things where like I know the real story, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And I see the way the media talks about it, or someone kills themselves out of the blue, but then you find out there were allegations pending, but those never come to light.
Oh,
and so
right.
There's kind of like a big public mourning, and you go like they don't know the story of why, or they go it's a mystery, and it's like it's not a mystery at all.
Right.
And just seeing that element, I go, well, surely there's stuff overseas that I don't know the story of.
Sure.
Or just presidential everything.
Yeah.
There's so little we know.
Yeah, I try very hard not to get into that thing where I have to be right. And it doesn't mean I don't dig in if I really believe something. But I just get turned off by, like, nobody, I'm not here to teach anybody anything. Like, I'm not this, I'm not a teacher. I'm not going to stand on stage and try to get a round of applause for a point. It's not my job. If I can't be funny with it on stage, then I won't talk about it on stage, because anybody can make a speech.
See, but I sometimes see, like, if I see you on Theo Vaughn talking about your trans wife, I do view it and I go, there's an audience there that is transphobic, that sees someone unapologetically.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in fact, as you're wont to do as a comedian, in fact, showing your wife's big fat cock.
Yeah.
And I go, that, to me, I go, that's good. I look at it like that's a good thing. And so, I don't know. I sometimes I'm like, do you believe in good and bad? And because in a way, like, entertainment is neutral.
Sure.
Entertainment is like, our morality is entertaining or boring as fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you feel like that's the predominant indicator in your life, or do you see things as good and bad?
It's hard to say. I mean, like a moment like that with Theo. The thing that the clip didn't show was the moment before he had said, "Yeah, so and so showed me a naked picture of his girlfriend." So that's what led me into that. Like I didn't just randomly pull that out of thin air, but from the clip is a clip. I get it, so I didn't care. And I know Theo for many years, so I didn't care. It was silly, and I show it to him, and no guy is truly shocked by. Like the comments were very funny. People were like, "This is shocking." Shut your face. No one is shocked by a dick picture. I know. The amount of the comments were very funny to me, and there was even a fighter who he's a very religious guy, and he said it was like uncomfortable, and I feel I'm going to pray for Jim. So I wrote back to him because I've interviewed him that hey, I'm fine. I'm doing well, and I almost got really nasty. Like confrontational, but then I realized he's being genuine. Like he's a religious guy, and he really means he's praying for me. And I'm like, I know your heart's in the right place. That I wasn't mad about it anymore because I know.
What were you going to say though? What was that line? Because you wanted to say, "Mind your own fucking business. Fuck you. You
wear a Speedo at
pussy.
work. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah. But then I would have started attacking the religion. But I realized like he's just coming from a place where to him that's the nice thing to say. Like he thinks praying for me is important. And good for him. Let him do that. Like I don't need to convince him.
He's praying for your asshole.
Believe me, if you've seen a dick, you'd understand that his prayers have not been answered.
That's interesting. The Theo Von podcast and ours is we're about to see a picture of your phone here. Check. This is my asshole. This is my asshole.
It's fucking crazy. I really did well. But I joke about it on stage. I'm like, you don't spend $100,000 on immigration lawyers for a dick smaller than yours. It's silly. What am I, a goose? But it's like I talk about it like. Our life is, I'm not out to convince anybody. I know I'm happy with who I married. Like, I don't need to convince people of it, and I don't need them to be okay with it. Like, when you live a life, you don't have to address things apologetically either. I have fun with it. My wife is funny. Like, she's a person I love being around. Like, she talks shit. Like, if she had a fragile personality, and I talked about that, I couldn't have married her. Like, she loves that I talk about us on stage.
Of course.
So when I do that on Theo, I know a lot of his fans are not going to like it, but I'm having fun with him in the moment. I don't give a fuck if they like it or not. Half of them don't like it because they think they're not supposed to like it, and the other half,
and that's the half that I think is like, I think it's good because then they see it and maybe they laugh. That's when I go, oh, this is all good. Comedy, it's fun. And they go, hey, I actually don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about this.
But I love. I'm into it. What's that?
Or they go, I wish my wife had a big fat cock.
It's amazing because nobody, and again, this point's been made before. Nobody likes a small cock in porn. Nobody.
What's his name's joke?
It's one of the blue collar guys.
Oh,
what's his name?
He used to have the drink in his hand.
Ron White.
Ron White.
Yes.
I loved it. I remember just being from like, it was like, oh yeah, this is like this guy in the blue collar comedy tour. He said homophobic friends. He's like, when you watch porn, do you like a small, skinny, weird dick? Like, no, I want a big fat. And it was like, yeah.
So people are not afraid of a big dick picture. Like they act like they're so injured by it. But it's almost like watching a bunch of kids perform in a schoolyard for each other. Like, I have to show you I'm not gay. I gotta show you. And I'm never impressed by that. I'm like, fuck. But I do like when the aggressive closeted ones who are anti get caught. I love it. The ones who are literally trying to legislate things that will affect a person's ability to live as they want.
Yeah.
And then they get caught with a fucking alpha hand on the back of their head. Nothing makes me happy.
Who are the classics? Who are the big ones?
What was the guy who was a wide stance? Larry something. He was a congressman or whatever. Who's in the men's room and cruising a men's room.
Yeah.
That guy who would fucking. And then there was that pastor whose name I don't remember. But he was a real anti-gay one, and there was a gay guy who massaged him. He's like, "You sucks my dick." So that guy got ruined. A few of them have been ruined by that.
What's the word on the street with Lindsey Graham?
There's always rumors about.
I've heard Lindsey Graham might. I've heard he was gay. I never heard he was into trans.
No, not that. I've just always seen like online. There's always like I'm a sex worker and I'm about to blow the story on Lindsey Graham, and then you hear nothing else, and you're like the ND. And I had this mix where I get skeptical where I'm like, how can anyone keep something a secret in this world anymore? You're never getting caught. And then there's the other side of me. I'm like, yeah, you find out every day someone else was on Epstein's island.
Yeah.
Somehow, 20 years later.
They're all scared, too. Lindsey Graham's a powerful person, so I think that sex workers are probably scared of outing. I mean, I wouldn't care if he was gay or not, unless he votes anti-gay. Then it's great to watch.
I think he does.
He probably does. I just don't know. But some of
Larry
them,
Craig.
Larry Craig, yes. Oh, I have a wide stance. Oh, a wide when he was trying to tap a foot, and I think it was the Milwaukee bathroom or something.
Oh, that's what his excuse was?
Minneapolis. Yeah.
Airport.
He said he sits with a wide stance when his foot went under the thing, an undercover cop. He was signaling for a blowjob.
Yeah, it was like a sting operation.
What was interesting?
A wide stance. He said he was so wide that he tapped the
It's
other
so
person.
funny at an airport, too.
Yeah, an airport.
Like, that is, you know what I mean? Like, that's not like one of those ones you hear online and you go and you're an airport. It's transitional.
airport?
The Minneapolis.
Minneapolis. And was it
yeah.
like an airport that's known for that, or was it just like in the hopes?
It's probably known in that world that if you put your foot under, I don't know about Minneapolis, but I mean, I think it's probably a men's room thing where if you put your foot under, maybe that's a signal.
That's
I don't
a
know.
big
But either way,
gamble.
you're going somewhere, you're coming back from somewhere, and you're like, I gotta do this now. And those bathrooms are busy.
They are.
You know, airport
People are
bathrooms are
loudly
busy.
shitting. There's
Yeah.
a line of people
The
waiting.
line of people waiting.
Horrendous.
It's a Delta hub too, so many transfers.
Oh my God! Yeah, all these Atlanta flights, people dropping big deuces in Minneapolis.
Let's go into our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has gotta stop.
This has got to stop. This is where we talk about something that needs to come to an end. Big, small, private, public, doesn't matter. If you're a member of the Patreon, you get 4 bonus episodes every month, and you get to submit your own This Has Gotta Stop. Ty, do we have a Patreon submitted This Has Gotta Stop?
Yes. I chose this one because I'm a little under the weather and had to deal with this today. This is from Renata M. This has got to stop. Doctor's offices telling you to come in 30 minutes early to fill out paperwork that you will need to have done on their app. You have to download before coming into the office. And don't forget the payment must be received before you are seen. You also will not be seen by the doctor until 30 minutes after the start of your scheduled appointment.
Yeah, these doctors are getting away with murder in terms of the wait time. I cannot believe sometimes the paperwork I still have to fill out. I'm like, didn't I answer all these questions already?
Yeah.
I still don't have any allergies.
Yeah. Or also, like, I've been doing some physical therapy for my knee, and they have me fill out this thing every time. I'm like, I'm going to the same person. Like, why do I have to fill this out before every time I come? Like, it's done. Like, you know.
They have no ability to transfer information from one form to another. You don't need my address again.
No.
Yeah.
You have it.
Yeah, my
I
name
didn't
and my
move
birthday. That's
yesterday.
it. Put it in the computer.
Yeah, it's very frustrating.
Yeah.
It's just redundancy and duplication of effort. They just want every form to have it, I guess. I don't know. It's annoying.
I'm so frustrated because I take Ambien. I think I'm still like, I do it, I think, reasonably.
Yeah.
But, you know, sometimes it's I got to shoot the next day, red eye, of course. I'm taking something.
Wow.
And 10 milligrams. I break it in half sometimes.
Okay.
But my doctor insists that we check in before like every refill. Like I have to see him for the refill of the Ambien, even if I haven't finished it like in an alarming amount of time. And the last couple times we do this whole song and dance where I go, okay, I'll see you for a virtual appointment. When's the next one? 2028. I go, well, I gotta get it. And I sent a long message about why I have to get it. And he goes, okay. And then he sends it. And I go, can we just skip this? Have we not been together long enough? If I come to you a week after the prescription, fine. But there's got to be a number. You don't need to check in on me every time. I'm so sick of it. I got Adderall from a fucking, it's like she was licensed, but she was a drug dealer.
Yeah.
Like insane. And then my doctor gives me Ambien. I don't have any facts about this medication. They say don't have any coffee on. Other people say have coffee. I would like to be able to talk to a person and go, can I have a coffee on this? Is it fine?
Yeah.
Is it okay if I do this? Is it okay if I have a drink with this? No one wants to answer any fucking questions. And I'm going to die because one day I'm going to slowly get bolder and bolder.
Yep.
And it's because I never got any fucking answers. So I hate this shit.
It's their insurance. They have to say, well, I did consult with him and he did.
Yes.
It's all about insurance. No one. This is why lawsuits keep this country from breaking down into anarchy. It's either being sued or the fear of being sued. All insurance. That's all it is. They don't give a fuck. But he has to be able to tell his insurance company if you die or if you kill somebody or if you threaten the White House in an Ambien fucking phone binge. He has to be able to say like, hey, I talked to him and he was ready. You know, they have to cover their asses.
Yeah.
Russell, do you have this? Got to stop.
Yeah, we've transferred into less emails coming out, but my texts, I'm getting so many texts. It's not just politics. It's not just doctor's appointments. It's the weed dispensary. It's Also, I don't know how politics. I'm getting texts from all three candidates. I'm getting Curtis Silva. I'm getting I've never voted for a Republican, but
You shouldn't get text from a candidate who's too old to text.
I'm getting all, and it's multiple. I mean, my weed dispensary too. I don't go there that regularly. I don't go there regularly enough. Can I show you? They sent me today. They sent.
Oh my God! You have a new message from
every day.
Happy Monkey
every day. Listen, they're great. I like their products, but I'm getting 3 texts a day about deals.
Take
and things.
yourself off the list, can't you?
I know, but then it's just another list that comes, and sometimes I do respond and get the deal. But it's just too much. It's just too much of phone things, and I think it's everything now. Doctors, politicians, everything, and I just feel like we've transitioned now. They realize emails aren't working at all,
right?
But somehow the phone, it's just now it's getting closer and closer. What's the next step? You know what I mean? It's too close.
Well, it's good there's no spam filter on your phone, too. Emails have spam filters, which is where most of them go, but your phone, you're going to see it. I don't give my number half the time, unless, like Best Buy. If I'm buying something in Best Buy, like it's 1995, and I'm like, they're like, will your phone number, please? I'm like, no, I don't have a phone.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, but you have to give. I'm like, no, you don't. If I was paying cash, you wouldn't ask me. I've gotten into it with people, and I'm like, really? Put your number. I'm not putting my number.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it. Or I've had guys go, can you just make up a number? And I'll go, all right, 212-555, like the one they use in movies.
Yes.
I've given that one. They don't need your number to make a purchase.
Good. That's good. This got to stop. This has got to stop. All right. I do this on stage, but I'll do it for real because it's real. This has got to stop is if an animal is in a movie, they are not a good actor. Please. Actors were already such a low level of entertainment. You filmed the dog being a dog. It's not Stanislavski reincarnated.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Good Boy. This fucking horror movie told from the dog's perspective. If I see any more about how good they put food and they made the dog look a certain angle, and then they go, wow, look how believable it is. Look how believably this dog is humping the tree. It's not. You just filmed it being a dog. If you film me jerking off, we'll see how believable it is.
Well,
and now there's a petition. Let's have an Oscar category for the dog.
No.
Okay, listen, I feel bad. They were trying to get a non-binary Oscar category, and now we're giving the dog one before that. That's not a good look for the Oscars right now.
The only thing I would say, though, is that I hate the fake CGI.
The fake CGI?
Yeah, like you can't do that, especially with dogs. So I appreciate them using a real dog because the CGI dogs.
Good.
That's not a dog. Like Harrison Ford did that whole Call of the Wild movie. I was like, with a CGI dog. I was like, that's what's the point of this?
Sure, I agree with that. I remember I think about the Clint Eastwood one. Do you ever see American Sniper?
With the baby.
Oh, Chris Kyle? About Chris
yeah,
Kyle?
about Chris Kyle. But
it's funny. Yes.
No,
It's funny.
What about it?
We had interviewed him, and that whole story about he got sued by Jesse Ventura, Chris Kyle, and that whole story came out on our radio show, and then Bill O'Reilly took it that night, and then Chris Kyle gets sued by Jesse for saying that Jesse got knocked out at a party, and then Chris Kyle is murdered, and the only time I've spoken to Jesse Ventura after our argument was years later when he walked by our studio and he opened the door and he goes, Chris Kyle was a liar, and he slammed the door shut.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Chris Kyle, we talked about the American Sniper. That was about him, right? Yeah.
Yeah. They should have added that scene as like a post-credit.
Jesse
Ventura.
Jesse pops in.
Yeah.
Chris Kyle was a liar.
But yeah, they did CGI baby, right? In that movie?
They had a doll. And there were a couple shots. The baby was sick that day. And there's like just
a couple shots.
2 shots where you're like, that's a doll. And Bradley Cooper is acting his ass off. He's weeping. And you see that little, like, the line of the arm attachment.
Oh, no.
And it is.
It was a baby doll. It wasn't the
Yeah. I remember I got one of those as a prank once, an inflatable doll.
Yes.
And it was like, this was back in the day,
and you were
like it was a little. It was
you have to.
Well, it was like a Spencer's Gifts like joke little person.
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
and it was honestly like it wasn't like it was developed. It wasn't like this is, and it had tits and ass and it was a joke, but they gave it to me.
Sure.
And I tried it.
What are you be rude? You have to.
Of course,
you gotta try it.
And it was the first time. It wasn't up to snuff. I'm not hanging low.
Right.
But this was not enough.
Yeah.
And it wasn't great. That old school inflatable doll. Did you own those?
No, but I've had a few pocket pussies.
Yeah.
Which
Sure.
are never great. But
in Europe, they sell it like in the bathroom, like with the condoms. They'll have like a quarter for a pocket pussy.
Oh, a little
to go.
sleeve.
Yeah,
a little
sleeve.
masturbatory sleeve. I bought one. It was so creepy. It was like an ass and pussy, but it was no torso. No, it was like a little piece of a torso and then just the legs.
Yeah.
We always see it in the store, and you go, it's too
You
much.
feel weird doing
Yeah.
it because it felt okay. The ass felt decent, but then you're like, the torso just stops. It's just weird.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really fuck it. I tried a few times, but I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
You still have it like in a closet somewhere?
No, I threw it out. I did throw it out. I think when my wife finally was moving in, I was getting it because like I didn't want to cheat on my
I
wife.
imported one of these.
Yeah, exactly. I got one that actually annoys me. I should have kept the other one. I like. I didn't want to cheat, so I'm like, a lot of my life has been around not cheating.
Yeah.
So I mean, in my marriage, I don't
Yeah.
So that was one of the methods I tried.
You talk to your special about? Oh, what?
Oh, I was just gonna say, when I disposed of one, this is years and years and years ago. I had roommates and stuff, and I was like, I felt weird about just throwing out,
Yeah.
in the garbage, and so then I was like, but then it was like, I was like, well, maybe I'll chop it up. But then I felt like a serial killer chopping up this fake pussy, and
Did you
like
cut off the clit first?
and it was really hard to do. And then I was like, so I got halfway through and just like threw, but I was like, this is way worse than just actually throwing it away.
Just throw it out. You
know
put
what
it
I
in
mean?
a bag or bring
This
it out.
is so much, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's a weird feeling.
Yeah.
It's a weird feeling getting rid of it.
You did talk in your special that the days that the old school cheating is over.
Oh, about getting caught with technology. Yeah, there's so many ways to get busted.
But
now.
you cheated in the past.
Constantly. Yeah, sex addict. It was constant, and I always got caught. But it was. I look at it now like it was dopamine. It was literally that drug of more. It was pure greed and selfishness. But yeah, I was a terrible boyfriend.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine cheating with social media. It just seems like you're gonna get. But I mean, you're tracked in. Some
Everything is
capacity.
saved. You will eventually get caught. Like especially if you're fucking people. Like, it's exhausting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she and I have been together. We broke up in 2018, but I mean, we've been pretty solid for like 7 years now. So, I can't imagine doing it now and fucking someone and getting away with it.
I once hooked up. It was probably 2019, and went to a hotel. She was like visiting in town. She saw a show, and then when I was asleep, for an Instagram story, she was like, "Fun in New York," and then panned to me, and I was asleep next to her, and I was like, "God damn."
Yeah, that's really
That was
shady.
weird. It was weird.
That's shady to do to somebody, or to expose people's private stuff. Like, I've had so many nude photos and videos sent to me over the years, and the idea of no matter how awful a person was, the idea of exposing that it wouldn't even occur to me to do that. Like,
Someone sends you a nude. Someone sends you a picture on Instagram.
Sure,
and you got to click to open it up.
Sure,
you still checking it out
every time. Of course. What am I, not polite?
Don't you think there was a time when like porn was probably like the beginning of porn? People were like, "That's cheating," and then someday like everyone got together and they said, "We're all doing this."
There are people who still think that way. Like, if you jerk off thinking about other people, but my wife doesn't want me cheating. But if I looked at a dirty pic, she doesn't give a shit.
What about if it's someone you know and it's an OnlyFans?
She doesn't care if I have OnlyFans. I mean,
if it's someone you know.
Oh, I don't know how she'd respond to that. She might not like it. She might think that was a little weird.
Sure.
She might be like, "What do you want to fuck them?" She wouldn't let herself get bent out of shape about it, but it might annoy her.
Sure.
She's pretty open though. She's hard to shock.
Yeah.
My wife. That's why I love her. Like, she doesn't breathe down my neck. I don't breathe down her neck. Like, I couldn't handle that type of.
You ever been cheated on?
Yes, I have been. Yeah, and it hurts.
You
realize, like, wow.
How'd you find out?
I just knew. You always know.
Really?
Yeah, you sense it because I had done it so many times. So I know you know what I mean? It's like, come on, I've been here a long time. I know what that is. It's the look, or it's the unreachable. Where were you? No, it's the little weird shit.
Yeah.
So, but it's very painful.
Were you a good liar? Like, I feel like my where I'm not a good liar, I get over specific. I'm like, no, I was at the corner store from 8:04 p.m. to ba 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 ba. I just remember like once it was like an acting class where we like played a lying game, and they immediately could tell I was lying because I thought like the specificity would somehow prove my innocence.
Which is how most people don't think is 100%. One of my exes, who's like literally one of my best friends today, caught me because I had condoms. And I said to her, she's like, I found condoms in your fucking closet. And I'm like, I bought them. I'm like, because I had them because I was jerking off into them to see if I could because you're not on the pill. And she knew I was lying because we've never used one together. And I'm like, I've had them for a long time. And she's like, I went to the fucking pharmacy. She had the lot number. And she looked up the numbers at the pharmacy. Oh, she didn't play games. Whoa. She was really good. Really fucking good.
Wow. Because based on your story, I wouldn't have needed to do that extra work. Just
it was
not of like go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's for the love of the game. Just it's fun.
She caught me good.
Wow.
Because my mom caught my dad. I mean, someone told my mom that they saw my dad with another woman. No other proof other than that.
Right.
And my mom called my dad and said, I know. And he said, I'll be right home. Like, he folded immediately.
Oh, yeah.
He folded immediately.
I worry about you, Henry. You may fold under questioning. Yeah, it was one of those.
Do you ever this has got to stop?
The only thing I could think of was I wish people would stop referring to comedians as modern day philosophers.
Oh yeah,
It's gotten us into a lot of trouble.
Oh, it drives me nuts. It's so uncomfortable. And it also forces comics to try to be self-important and say the thing like in seriousness. And it also forces comics to be self-righteous and tell other people what they should say, what they should talk about. And it's just like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, comics have an interesting perspective. There's comedians I adore. But I mean, the pressure of that drives me crazy, and it's corny.
Especially the comedy itself. I don't think the stand-up itself need not have consistency. Comedy itself, that art, can be hypocritical, can be contradict itself.
Yes.
The jokes are in the contradiction.
Yes, sometimes, sure.
I hear you. I feel like recently it's like, and it's not in the stand-up. I like to believe my stand-up is what it is. But I think outside of it, I've certainly have some people who, and this is podcast stuff, where they like me for my values, and I go, you're gonna be disappointed, especially if you think the stand-up is gonna reflect the values, because the whole point of the stand-up is like funny first.
Yeah, of course.
So I agree. The whole I always said it's saying comedians are modern day philosophers is pretty offensive to modern day philosophers.
Yeah.
They still exist, and they're doing important work, and we're just...
Are they?
I don't know of any of it, but I can tell you I'd find them annoying. You know, Jim, shut it. I would get very annoyed very fast at someone.
Exactly, that's why we're not modern day philosophers.
No, but someone looking at me and they're like warming up for a poignant moment would make me very annoyed very fast, and I wouldn't tolerate it.
I made friends once with... I met a philosopher at some trip, and I went to... He was getting an MFA at Columbia, and I was like... I liked reading philosophy sometimes.
Sure.
I went to like an MFA, Masters of Fine Arts. That's how fucking stupid I am. It was a PhD
I didn't know what it meant
program.
till you just said it.
And there was like a slideshow about... It was a theory of quantum time travel or whatever, and I was like, yeah, this is modern philosophy, because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about right now.
Yeah, that type of stuff I could listen to.
Yeah.
Theorizing about quantum stuff, sure, that's interesting. But I think philosopher, I just think of somebody trying to give life lessons, and that I find very annoying. That's not a comic's job. And some comedians think they are. Some comedians take themselves very seriously. They think they have things of great import, and it's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Let's go into our final segment.
You better count your blessings.
You better count your blessing. This is where we talk about something that we're grateful for, something nice. We had a good negative episode. Russell, do you have a blessing?
Yeah. If you've been following along, my dog died recently, and everyone's been so lovely. Thank you. You've sent some flowers, and a lot of friends have reached out, and it's been so sweet. So I'm thankful for my good friends who have been so supportive and lovely in this time. Thank you.
You were the Patreon comments are a lot of sweet
Yeah.
messages for you and Nicole.
Yeah.
We'll love you, buddy.
Yeah.
My blessing. I did a Spartan race this past Saturday. Me and my girlfriend and our friend Jaden. We went to. It's like you run a 10K, but there's obstacles.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, I described it to Jaden. I was like, oh, like to me it's campy, like it's camp. And she was confused. I was like, what do you mean you're confused? It's clearly camp. Like, I'm a Spartan warrior. And she was like, no, to these people, it's really real. Like, this is like, they're kind of doing army training. They're kind of like, it's serious. They're a Spartan warrior. In my mind, I was like, I'm a warrior.
Yeah.
And at the end, you throw a spear, and it's like, it's fun. And she was like, no. This will sound egotistical to say, you know, I've gotten recognized here now a little bit more. Sure. And we got there. My girlfriend says, not a single person here is going to know who you are. And she was absolutely right. Absolutely right. This is like a full group of people that I would never get, but it was a lot of fun. It was fun. I like, you know, so you run like a quarter mile and then you have to go over a wall and then you have to climb something and desperately not get injured. I didn't get injured. That's my blessing. I did not get injured. So thank God for yoga. Do you have a blessing, Jim?
I would have to say it would have to be when I first heard this. I feel the blessing is I have an ability to do things that I don't want to do, and I think that's a real. It's made my life so much better. Is learning early on in sobriety to do things whether I wanted to do them or not, because it's enabled me to have the career and it's enabled me to do what I had to do to help my wife get in the country. Like doing unpleasant things that I would rather avoid, and my ability to do that, I'm very grateful for. It's given me a good work ethic. So, you know, that's a blessing of being sober, I think.
Yeah. And what do you mean, like exercise, food, just
obviously
going to
not
things?
As much exercise as I should, but I mean anything, just going to work whether I want to or not. Or I take jiu-jitsu, so going whether I want to or not. Filling out paperwork whether I want to or not. Not
coming on this podcast.
Yes, no, this I actually... It was either this
I want to or not.
Well, I had to because my wife is doing therapy at home, and I didn't want to. I don't want to fucking hear what she's yapping about because I imagine it's me. But no, this was fun. But it is. It's like going to work every day. When I did for years, I didn't take sick days. Like you know, the ability to do things you don't want to do is something that when people lack it, you see it because they allow themselves excuses, and their career and everything suffers because they give themselves too many fucking breaks. You can't do it.
Yeah.
Where can people find? Just kidding. Where can people find you, Jim?
My podcast is on Jim Norton Comedy on YouTube. It's called Jim Norton Can't Save You, and or JimNorton.com. I have a bunch of road dates if you want to see me or if you want to watch my special.
Watch the special. It's really, really good.
Thank you, sir.
Russell, what about you?
At Russell J. Daniels on Instagram, and some more shows coming soon.
Great. Again, please join the Patreon. Patreon.com/downside. 4 bonus episodes a month and a live episode every month. It's a great time. I'm on the road. We probably just announced some new dates in Australia and Asia. First time in Asia, so I'm very excited for that. And, good luck to you too. But personally, I'm hoping for Zoran today, so get out and vote. This is the downside.
That was a Headgum podcast.